I'm gonna go here. All right. So today I'm going to be going over some logo designs. I had a couple submissions and I was just going to go over some suggestions and ideas and some critiques. And basically the idea is to just kind of give you a sense into things you can think about when you're designing a logo and how to kind of be creative with your logo. Okay, so we're going to get started. And I'm going to switch screens so that you guys can see the screen I'm working on, and then I'll get shrunk down a little bit. So here we are, and basically what I'm going to show you guys is Erin's logo. So this is the logo she sent me. This is the one she currently has, and I'm going to give some suggestions and ways that she could maybe adjust this logo a little bit and utilize it a little bit better for her business, and just my own personal feedback. So this is all like my feedback. Doesn't mean it's the way she should do it or the way it should go. It's just designer's perspective. So I did a little bit of sketching pre coming on live just to give you guys a little idea of how I kind of think about stuff before I get started and all of that. So these were some quick preliminary sketches. Let me switch screens so you can see better, that I kind of came up with. So I'm going to basically try and do that on Illustrator now and go over some of these ideas. So let me get back to that thing. Sorry. There we go. So this is her current logo. And one of the things that you kind of need to always think about when you do logos, because as you can see, she's got a watercolor feature in hers, which is really trendy right now. And she's got a little gold little heart over here. And those are like super fun and like super playful and have a lot of feminine personality to them and everything. And the good thing about them, especially the way she has it specifically, is that it's a pretty easy way to go into a black and white logo. But something you always want to think about when you design a logo or have a logo is that it should always work in black and white first, and then color should be added later. So that's kind of one of the hard things right now with the trend of watercolor logos, because there's a lot of things with like color washes and stuff like that. So that's why your actual mark itself, beyond like having a background of a watercolor wash or something, needs to be really strong on its own. And then the wash could be like an added decoration, so as like an alternative logo. But your main mark and main logo should be very solid and be very easy to transfer into just black and white. And the reason you do that is because there's a lot of times where your logo needs to be represented online somewhere or in print. And sometimes the company that you're submitting your logo to, if you're sponsoring an event or something, will need to have your logo in black and white. And if it's got this crazy like artistic wash on it or something, it's going to make it really, really hard for them to turn it black and white and for your logo to stand out. So something to always think about. The way Erin has her logo right now, though, is actually really nice because she has the ability to turn the E and S into black, as well as the heart. So that's good. That's a good thing. But one thing, the first thing that probably kind of stood out to me with this particular logo is the size of it. Sorry, the size of it, I think, would be better if it was in a more useful shape. So like when you think about like social media, your cover of your Instagram and like, or your what is it called, the photo for your Instagram or your photo for your business page and stuff like that on social media is usually a square or a circle, and so it's really important to have a mark that fits that really well. And I'm not sure if Erin has an alternative mark, so maybe she just uses the E and S for that. But in those marks, it is good to have your actual name sometimes, because unless your mark is super recognizable because it stands out on its own, similar to like my logo where it's a very unique N that if you were to see it anywhere, you haven't seen it anywhere besides mine. So it would stand out enough to be on its own, where the E and S in the format that it's done right now for Erin is very common, I guess. It's more of a design that's more popular right now with the calligraphy and the watercolor, so it doesn't stand out strongly on its own. So that's what I'm going to play with today. And her photo or her logo right now is in a Photoshop file. So I'm playing with images, so I'm going to have to kind of like redraw some stuff. So it's going to be a little bit more sketchy than legit right now. So I'm going to use my favorite little Wacom tablet and pen, and I'm going to start taking these sketches that I did on paper and bringing them to life on Illustrator. So these, just so you know, I kind of broke this up so I can give myself a little bit of a play area, and I was going to actually see if I could do something. So let me play with this real quick, and I was going to see if I could trace this object. Oops, it didn't work because it already clicked something. Let's see. Nope. Should be able to. There we go. Expand. Awesome. So I was able to turn this particular mark into a vector, and that's using the trace tool. So if you go into Object and then Image Trace and then Make, you can choose what you want to do with it. For some reason, there we go, Image Trace up here. So when you click on it, you can do Image Trace. Up here, you can choose what kind of image trace. I'm just going to do shades of gray so it actually shows up because it's a watercolor. It's harder to turn it into a solid vector. And then you always want to hit Expand, and that's going to actually give you all of its specific points. So you can see how the E and S is completely outlined, whereas this is just a solid image that I can't break up. So this is turned into a vector, and then I'm going to try and do it with this one, but it's going to probably be a little bit harder because oh no, that didn't work out too bad. Sometimes if it's if it's not high resolution, you can kind of see, oops, there's like the little pixels and stuff on it. So sometimes when you do that, it's hard to get like a pretty good line, but actually gave it kind of a cool look. So, but this is all, like, again, just for sketch and just for play, to show you guys some ideas. So one of the concepts I had was to put her logo in a really circular design, because I really like how this feels, like the super circular motion and everything of this particular design. So I'm going to go over here to the shape creator, and I'm going to pick the Ellipse Tool, and holding down Option, I'm going to put my mouse or pen on the pad, the cursor. If you have a mouse, you would just be pushing down and holding, while I'm holding Option and hitting Shift at the same time, and then dragging makes a big circle, and it's a very perfect circle. If you were to let go of Shift, you can, it still comes from the center. That's what Option does, but you can make it whatever shape you want, but if you hold down Shift, it's only a perfect circle every time. So I'm going to make a circle, and I'm going to turn it into an outline. And since I was able to get this to work, I'm going to try and use this design. And one of the other things you can do is to take the brush tool, and this is one of the reasons I kind of like doing this, is I can trace pretty easily to get a very similar feel. I think the way I had it was like this on my sketch. And one of the reasons you do this is because you want to be able to stay as similar to the original logo as possible, especially if you're doing a rebrand. You don't want to be too different, but you still want to try to like be yourself and show your own brand as much as possible. So the other thing I did was I added the heart in here, and you can kind of do it anywhere I thought it would be really cute to have it be a part of this line. So what I'm going to do here is zoom in and I will redraw, oops, make this guy a little bit smaller. Oops, no, I don't have it selected. Go into my brush tool, and then I'm going to make this 0.5. Whoa, sensitive. Okay. And then I'm going to outline the stroke of the circle, and I actually want to make it a little bit thicker. So make it maybe 3 point. It's not bad. And I will go to Object, Path, and Outline Stroke, and it turns it into a shape instead of a stroked outline. And then what I'm going to do is use the Pathfinder tool, and what I usually do is I can either create a shape with the pen tool, or I can use the Ellipse Tool or square. And basically what I'm going to do is cut off around here at this space and basically get rid of this little black line that's showing, so you can see her design better. So once this is the shape I created is selected, I'm going to shift and click and choose the circle, and then I'm going to go over to what happened? There it is, Pathfinder, and I'm going to go to this minus front. So what it's going to do is it's going to take away that part of the circle from the design. So when I click it, now that's all you have, which is really pretty neat. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here so that it kind of leaves that space for the E. And I want to try to keep the spacing about the same on each side. So the other thing I'm going to do is, now that I drew this by hand, I don't mind the shape at all. I think it looks pretty good. So what I want to do is also turn this into an outline. I'm going to go to Path, Outline Stroke, and now this is a one big shape. And one thing you'll notice is, because I drew a line like this, this is actually two different line areas. So if you wanted this to be all one big piece, while it's selected, you would hit the Unite option in Pathfinder, and you'll see how that line disappears, and now it's just a shape where it's just solid, and it's not going to be there's not going to be any lines crossing. And one of the reasons you do that is if you were to get this made as like a laser cut or embroider or something like that, it's easier for the machines to read if it's one solid thing. If it has a line here, it will actually cut right there because the computer's reading that line. So you want it to be a nice big solid shape, which is what it is now. So the other thing I wanted to do was create the thick and thins for this particular font, because that's how her original logo looks, and it has more of that calligraphy feel. So I'm going to go over here and, oops, sorry, my Wacom tablet is like crazy sensitive today. And I'm going to just kind of draw a line to make that shape. And then if you go over to this little guy, I use the pencil tool. It's if you just hit N, it'll show up. But this will help me kind of fix some areas. So there's a little bit of a bump right here that I want to fix. So if I go and click on the pencil tool, I can kind of straighten it out a little bit. And that will actually help me get rid of that curve. Man, I don't know why it's being so sensitive today. It's like my kids might have been playing with the the sensors. There we go. Ah, no. fairly close. So now you can see I kind of got these thicks and thins in there. And so basically what I want to do is fill these in black so that they're not showing all the little detailed lines and stuff. So I'm going to select both of these new lines that I created, and I'm going to turn them into outlines. Go to Outline Stroke. And then I'm going to go in, click the rest of the E and S that I made earlier, and I'm going to hit the Unite option. And now it's one big shape. And then all I have to do to fix it is to select the Direct Selection tool, which is the little white arrow in Illustrator. And I'm going to select the inside of this area where it's, if you can see, it's just selected the white. And so what I'm going to do is hit delete, and that will get rid of those little areas for me. So it fills it in. It's like a online cheating way of doing calligraphy. So it's kind of a fun way to play with that. And then because it's one shape, there's a few little areas that I'm really nitpicky about because I like things to be smooth. So in here, I'll be fixing like these little spots and this little spot right here. So it's a nice, solid, smooth shape. And to do that, again, I'm going to go to the pencil tool and just kind of brush along the side of it. Of course, it's being crazy sensitive, so let me see if it'll actually let me do that. Don't feel like a creeper, Iris. So yeah, I think if you kind of just adjust and you very lightly kind of brush along the dots or the anchor points of the file, it'll straighten it out for you. So now I don't have those little weird shapes anymore. So that is one of the things I've done. And then I was going to do the same thing with the heart. So again, I'm going to go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke, and then take the Direct Selection tool, and I'm going to come in here. Actually, you need to go to Pathfinder first and unite it, and then select the inside of this guy. So see how it still kind of looks like her logo, but it's clearly different? That's kind of what I'm trying to accomplish here. So this right here, I want to unite with this little stroke. And so I'll make that into nice one big shape. Of course, this was an image, so it's not letting me do that. Hold on. There's a graphic below the little heart that I did earlier. Oops. It's still there, so I just had to delete that part. So I'm going to go here and unite these two. And then I'd love your guys' opinion, but I was thinking, should I keep this kind of curve here from the heart, or should I try and smooth that out? Let me know in the comments so I can make that adjustment. What I'm saying is to keep this the way it is, or I can take the pencil tool and smooth it out like that. What do you guys like better? Me too. All right, cool. So I'll keep it smooth. One of the other things I wanted to do was these little edges. I kind of would like them to be curved. I'm not really sure though, looking at it again. I think there's a part of me that wants to curve it because the ends of the E and S are curved, but at the same time they're coming up against a straight line, so maybe it's fine the way it is. I would love your guys' opinion on that too. So the other thing I wanted to do is add her name to this mark. So in the original sketch I did, I added it right down here, but I might add it up here now. I think that would look really good. Since the bottom one already has a heart, I think having her name up here would look a lot better. So in order to do that and put it on a curve, I'm going to create the Ellipse tool again and do another circle. And I'm going to try my hardest to get it to be the same size as the previous circle, like that. And then you're going to go to text, and there's the type on a path tool. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm just going to select the very edge, and it'll automatically turn the shape into a place where you can type. It's a really cool feature. And then I'm going to type in her name. And make it a little bit bigger. Spread the space. Hi, Tammy. And then I'm going to try and find a font for it. And the other thing I'm trying to do is allow the spacing between the designs so that right here and right here is pretty equal, so it's nice and balanced. And then I'm going to bring it down a little bit because I actually want it to be in the center as much as possible. So I'm actually going to have to make this guy a little bit smaller. So I want the center of the letters to be right where the line is. And then I'm going to go and try and find a new font. I'm not really sure what her fonts are, so I'm just going to pick something that I think would work pretty well. Let me see. And yes, I have all the fonts. I love fonts. It's kind of an addiction that I can't handle. Let me see here. The only problem is that when you want to pick a font, and I have so many fonts, that it takes me some time because I have to try to look at all the different styles and see how the different letters look, and so it kind of take a while because I have so many options to choose from. But I'm a font nerd, so I can't really help it. And if you ever want to look for some really good fonts, I really recommend like dafont.com. It's DAFONT, and it's a really, really good place to get some fun fonts for free. If you want to pay for some good fonts, I always recommend Creative Market. And then there's Font Squirrel as well. Sometimes Font Squirrel has free fonts as well as paid fonts. So, and the only thing too is when you pay for a font, make sure you pay attention to the licensing on it to make sure that you have rights to use it beyond personal use. Because there are rules with, yeah, fonts, it's easy to spend a lot of money on fonts. I feel like every time I see Creative Market do like bundles and it's like 100 fonts for 20 bucks, I'm like, yes. Hey, Erin, we're working on your logo. I'm glad you could join. Okay, trying to find a font. Do you happen to know, Erin, what your font is? Because if you know, maybe I have it. If not, I can just use another one. Do you like your font? Do you want the font the same, or do you want me to play with something different? Just let me know. Let's see here. Sorry, this is an intense moment. Trying to find the right font is like a art form. I think I have Railway, so let me look for that one. Yep, I do. It's not as narrow. It looks very similar, but it doesn't seem as narrow. So I'm not sure if that's the right font. Unless it was squished, which is a huge no-no. So hopefully it wasn't squished. But let me check. Because it definitely looks very similar, but it looks like it was squished at some point. Like that. So let me know. So I'm just going to use this one for now, but You can also rotate the circle a little bit so that I can have, like I said earlier, I want to have these spaces to be similar. And then I'm going to go ahead and do type and then create outlines. It's Shift Command O. And it's going to turn those into vectors as well. And then what I'm going to do is, so that you can see it, I'm going to do the Pathfinder option again, where I come in and cut right here. And then I'm just going to basically cover the part I want to take away. I swear I'm not adding this to her logo. And so when you click on, oops, you want to make sure you're clicking just on this one, not this one too, because it'll get rid of one or the other. So click on your shape and then the part you want it to be removed from, and then hit the minus option in Pathfinder, and now that's gone. So that was just one little quick play that I was using so that it's like a simpler way to do the logo in like a circle or a square, so it's easy for social media. I think the other thing I was thinking of was to do something where it would be in a shape of some sort. So I'm going to move all this stuff to the side. Erin, let me know too in the comments if you like this. I want to know what you're thinking of it, or if you have even something similar. I was saying earlier that I wasn't sure if you already had like a little seal or anything, but I was just playing with this idea. Thanks, Ellen. Well, I'm always here, so if you ever want me to critique or help you with it or updating it, just let me know. That's what I'm here for. Awesome, cool. So if I was going to do something that might be a little bit easier to utilize, I think I think what I would do is create a shape like a square. So I did a sketch earlier for this where I did kind of a rectangle and I did an outline, and I want it to be really similar to what I did over here, because if it's a brand, you want it to be really cohesive with each mark that you're using. So I think I did about a 3-point stroke, and then I'm going to not use this because I squished it. And I'm going to type in her name. Here. Make it just a little bit bigger and space it out. And what's fun about this to me, like a design like this, is it's really clean and simple, and it kind of reminds me of like a French logo, something very clean and modern, something like a French soap or something like that. And I'm kind of obsessed with that look. So what I would do here is kind of spread it out, and if she wanted to add, like Erin's a coach, so if she wanted to, she could add coaching below, and there's a couple ways you could do that too. But what I want to do first is I really want to kind of use the same heart. So because I already combined this area, oh, it looks like a smiley. I just noticed that. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's really funny. So you could totally add a smile to your logo. But I wanted to use the same heart because I really like the idea of the heart, because I think that's a big part of Erin and her brand is she does things with heart. She truly and genuinely cares about the people she works with, and I know that because she was my coach. So what I would do here is use the pen tool and just cut away. Oops, it's connecting, it's adding to, not subtracting from. So not select that, and then come here and just, sorry if you guys can hear my stomach growling. Apparently I'm hungry right now, which is very uncommon for me. And then again, use the Pathfinder tool and take away that part. Let me catch up on your guys' comments. Okay. Oh, that's awesome, Ellen. Like, I think that's a really cool thing. Like the next logo I'm going to show you is from Tammy, and she totally did it herself too. And I think that that's awesome. But I also think that you can make it, make sure that it's being, that it represents your brand really well and that it looks really professional. So if you love it, there's a way to help make it look even better, just to make it look more polished and refined. And there's little tweaks that you could do to make it look more professional and less handmade. I have no idea what your logo looks like, so it could look totally professional, but I'm just giving my suggestions. So don't ever feel embarrassed to send it or anything like that, because it's just about helping you guys, and that's exactly why I'm here. I need to use I keep going back to the mouse on my laptop and not using my Wacom tablet. So kind of adjusted this little heart over here. And I thought it would be kind of cute to do something in between the two. Almost hit the wrong button. So it's like another way to kind of use and keep it somewhat similar. And then what I was saying earlier is if you wanted to do something where it said what she does specifically, so it's not just her name, she could go in here and do coaching. I think I need to start doing this with music in the background because it's really quiet right now. And even though you guys are like technically talking to me, it's silent talking, so it's a little weird. So you can do something like that. But I think what's cool about this, and this is what I was trying to explain earlier, is that when you're able to do something that's a little bit more specific to you, and if you keep your brand in black and white first, you're able to add embellishments and stuff later. So if she wanted to really keep this pink watercolor look, she can easily add it back in, or she could do it in the background like a big wash. Same here, you could do the same thing with this. You can make the heart and the coaching box, that could all become that watercolor look. But I think what's important here is that it stays, I kind of like this crooked, but I don't know, let me put it back to the same, sort of the same angle as the other one. It keeps it where, one, it's really recognizable as a mark itself, and you don't need just the watercolor to show it. Plus, it helps keep it just nice and clean. Like, this is really, really cute and pretty, and I love it. But it's also like, don't laugh at me, Erin, but at first I always thought it said S, like in Spanish, like S. Erin Sheebish. So I like it, but it's almost, the way it's laid out is how you want to read it. So that's why I kind of did where it's like an obvious seal, and then your name is on top of it, and then you could put coaching down here as well. So this is just a quick little concept and idea that I came up with. And so if you guys have any comments or questions, go ahead and enter them below. And then if you like it, give me a bunch of hearts so I know what you think, because I would love to know that you guys like this design as well. And then Erin, I will actually send this to you. So thank you for donating your time and your logo so that I could work on something. So I'll send you the original files for this. And if you want to use them, just let me know. So the next logo I'm going to work on is Tammy's. So this is, I actually really like that concept that she's going with, so I'm actually really excited to work on this. But Tammy does essential oils. And so she came up with this really cute name, Essentially Nerdy, and I love it. And so I wanted to do a play on this in a way to kind of make it obviously like more professionally made and something that she could really use for her brand that stands out and is really cool. So I love the concept behind it, so I'm going to stick with it. Whoops. Ah, I swear my... my thing is like overly sensitive. I need to like recalibrate it or something, because it's like not letting go when I want it to. It's crazy. Tammy, you're so funny. Okay, so I love the glasses. Obviously, I'm a total like nerd and love glasses. My kids have glasses. I love everything about it. So, a quick thing I want to show you guys. I could probably just illustrate the brand new pair of glasses, but one thing I want to show you guys that's a really cool thing you could do, especially if you're not an illustrator, is I'm going to really quickly go into, if my mouse will work. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go into Google real quick, which you can't see me doing, so I swear this is what I'm doing. I'm going into Google and I'm looking up nerd glasses, and then I'm going to type in vector afterwards. Oh my goodness, sorry. Yeah. So when I do that, it comes up with a bunch of really cool little nerd glasses and stuff, and I think what I'm going to do is use this pair. Yes. And what you can do from Google is you can just literally like drag and drop it to your screen. So now you're going to see this pair show up on the screen. And this is a vector from Google. So the thing I would do here is that, yes, I just took something from the internet and put it into my logo that I'm going to work on. However, I'm going to modify it. So as long as you're modifying and you're changing it up and you're using it as more of like a base to get you started, especially when you're not an illustrator, it's really going to help you out. For me, I could just draw this pair of glasses free-handed and wouldn't have to think about it. But for purposes of if you don't know how to illustrate, this is why I'm doing this. So again, I'm going to do the image trace option and then just hit image trace and then expand. And so now this is a vector. And then I think I've showed you guys this before in a previous video, but just in case you've missed that, when you do expand it, you're going to see all this white space because it was an image, so there was a white background on it. So all you need to do is go and click the white and delete, and it will go away. So now you just have the glasses. Illustrator is so awesome, guys. You really need to use it. So I'm actually, if you notice, the ends are different. So what I'm actually going to do, little tricky trick, is I'm going to use the Pathfinder tool again, and I'm going to select both. I'm going to remove the right side, and I'm going to copy and paste and flip this guy because I want the ends of the glasses to be the same. So now they both have this cute little point to them, and then I can just select them and combine them so it's the same shape all over again. Yeah, exactly. You're not allowed to use graphics specifically from Google like that to do a logo. So that's why I'm saying you have to really make sure you're manipulating it and changing it and adjusting it, which I'm totally doing. I'm using this as a more of like a template to get myself where I want to go. So it's not going to be exactly the same from what I already took from the internet. It's a template for me to use. You can also use it to trace. So one of the things I want to do is adjust up here because I don't really like the look of it that much. I kind of want it to be a little straighter. Yeah. And I probably should have done this before I already traced and combined it, but oh well. And then I would like to add more Ray-Ban style, so I'm going to add these little ellipses here. And if you hit Command and Shift, it will copy your piece and keep it in line. So you see how this pink line showed up. It will keep it in the same space. And then because she chose to use nerdy specifically, just because you have glasses doesn't make you nerdy, right? So when I think nerdy, I think of tape on the nose and everything. And I think it would be really cute to do a little thing of that. So I'm actually going to come over here and use my brush tool, and I'm going to do a little thing of tape right here. I'm going to make this a different color just so you guys can see it while I'm doing this. Okay, so then I'm going to do Object, Path, Outline, Stroke, and then combine it. And then again, I'm going to get rid of the center so that it's one solid piece. And then I want it to be seen, so If it's white, you're not going to be able to see the, it's just going to look like it's broken apart. So basically I want it to be stroked so you have a line there. And then to add a little nerdy flair, I'll make it so you can actually see kind of the little tape marks. Whoops, let go. And that's one of the fun things about the brush tool is it actually is kind of like literally using a paintbrush, so it's kind of fun. And then it kind of gives it more of a nerdy glasses look, but you can clean it up and stuff too. So once you've drawn it all out, you can take the paintbrush tool that you use and do object path outline stroke. And then I want to select everything that is black. So I'm going to deselect the white and combine this. And then I can use that pencil tool I showed you guys earlier and kind of smooth some of this out. And make it a little bit cleaner. Anyways, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that because I'll be here forever. But so I created a new pair of glasses. It's a lot cleaner and something that she can utilize. And as you can tell, it's fairly different from what I took off the internet. And I use it mostly as a template. So one of the other things I kind of wanted to do with the glasses is I like the big lenses, but I also kind of want the bottom to be just a tiny bit narrower. So I basically just selected the inside with the direct select tool and selected this inner circle area, and then I clicked back onto the main selection tool, and while I'm holding down the shift key, I'm just going to, actually I don't need to hold down the shift, no, yeah I do. Hold down the shift key and you can drag it a little bit and it helps kind of change the frame shape a little bit, because I kind of like when it's thicker on top and then narrower on the bottom. So I'm gonna use the pencil tool and sort of straighten this out just a tiny bit. Oh my gosh, I need to use my actual laptop mouse because my thing is just not working right now. It's driving me crazy. So again, this was the original style, and then this was the newer one. But I'm gonna have to obviously fix over here too. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the selection again, and then just kind of make it cover that area. What the heck is wrong with this particular thing though? There we go. So again, Ellen, this is what I was talking about earlier. As long as you're really adjusting the glasses and it's not legit, like you just took exactly what they had and duplicated it, it's fine to use resources like that to help you, especially when you're not an illustrator and you just need something to look at to guide you. It's totally fine. Just make sure that you are changing it and it's at least 60% different. And then I'm going to fix this little guy over here because it is sticking out and I don't want that to happen. Oops. What the heck? Zooming in further, show me the problem. All right. There we go. Nope. There we go. Okay. So there's her nerdy pair of glasses. And then I really like how it has essentially, and it's like curved on top. So I think what I want to do here, and bear with me because I'm going to have to hand draw this, but I think I'm going to do this. don't. Okay, so as long as you draw out your text first, you can easily manipulate it, because this would be something I would probably actually print the glasses out and then hand draw it and then scan it back in so I could get it exactly how I want it to, but just the purposes of showing you guys this. And then I think with the font on the inside, I really like how she utilizes the negative space in the glasses to finish the text of the name of the brand. I'm curious though, let me see. Oops. Let me find another cool font. Ah, unintentional scaling. So the only thing that was kind of bugging me is the 2 and 3 letters. So I'm trying to think of an idea that I can use to make this work a little bit better. So let me think really quickly. It might even be cute to do this on top real quick. I want a different font so it fits in here better. I'm gonna do what I could see happening here, which would be really kind of cute, I think, is it being like stamp of approval, like nerdy approved. Like I think that'd be kind of a cute thing. So something like this might be a really fun way to play with this. I might actually keep playing with this because it's kind of a fun little mark. But this could, when you do start adding colors and stuff to it, let me see, you can make the box like red, and that would be really cute, I think. And then you could have like essentially nerdy done in like really nice calligraphy that actually matches the shape of the glasses. Or you could do this in a different font. I don't know if I like that as much because I liked this part just being nerdy. But yeah, there's a few different options I think we could probably do. Keeping that color in there. And then if, Tammy, if you really like the cursive look, like that kind of hand-lettered, we could do a font for it. What's that one font you really like? This guy? Sometimes if you go into a font, they have other options for their letters, and they're called glyphs. So they have like extenders and stuff like this guy. Let's just something for. And then it'll add. No, what happened? I want this to go. There we go. It'll add little stuff to it. So it's kind of a fun way to add personality to your text. Oh my goodness. I'm really irritated with my mouse, if you can't tell. So it would be kind of cute to do something like this and then have like the stamp over here or something. Or even, I don't know. This is one of the, it might take a little longer actually to play with because you have the bigger illustration with it. But I kind of like the idea of doing something like this. And then doing a what do you guys think so far? Let me know. I'm curious if you guys have any suggestions while I'm working on this guy. Oh my goodness, my stomach is really driving me crazy. I'm like, all I can hear is growling, but you guys probably can't, and I don't even know why. So in this situation, because it's, like I've said before, I want it to be able to be read in black and white, I would want to create the stroke and make it a lot thicker. So I would do probably be a 5-point stroke. And then I would do this, which is aligning the stroke to the outside. So it's going to, it shows you the different designs. I don't know how well you guys can see on your screens, but this one puts the stroke where the center of the stroke is in the middle, and then the outline kind of balances itself between the two. This one puts the stroke on the inside, and then this one puts the stroke on the outside. So I'm going to use the outside one, and that kind of helps cut out the letters in there, so it kind of still stays nice and strong as a black and white graphic. And then I'm probably going to make this a little bit thicker. Let's try 7. Yeah, I like the 7 better. So one of the things you can see here is this guy. The stroke is covering the other one. So what I want to do to fix that, I'm glad you like it, Tammy. Let me know if there's something you want to change or whatever. That's kind of the fun of this project. So then what I want to do here is go to Object Path Outline Stroke as well. And you can see how like there's this combination thing happening. And so what I want to do is ungroup it because it's not connected, and that's why it's doing that. And I'm going to put this on top, and then, actually no, I'm not. Scratch that. I'm going to select the white and the white on both, and I'm going to combine them. And then I'm going to take the direct select the black and the black on both and combine them. And then I'm going to use Shift, Command, and then the bracket, and it's going to bring it to the front. So that'll help make sure that it's separated out. So yeah, that's a quick little redo of Tammy's logo before and after. It's nothing like crazy fancy, but it's fun and a little bit of playful, and I totally ruined the little Ray-Ban circle things. But yeah, so that's just another play with that. So yeah, outlining strokes is so helpful, and it helps because you can add that like depth and stuff. So like here, similar to what I did on Aaron's, where I kind of use the tool to cut out these areas. If you are doing it with a text, you can make sure it's like a perfect outline and it follows the text perfectly without having to trace a shape or anything like that. So that's kind of a really fun way to do that. So yeah, Tammy, again, thank you for letting me use your logo, and I will send you this. But yeah, I kind of really like doing this stuff. So if you guys want to send me more work or send me things to look at, and I can totally just help you guys as I'm working on these things. I just think it's really fun to play with. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to do, and if there's even just a design project you're working on, a marketing thing. It doesn't have to be a logo. It could be your website, anything like that. I would love to come on and help you guys come up with some new concepts and some ideas, and that's what I'm here for. So next week, maybe we'll do some website stuff. So you guys can send me the links to your websites, and then we can kind of come up with some concepts if there's pain points for you, or you just want some suggestions on having a better user experience on your website, anything like that. So just let me know, and I'm so glad that you guys watched and hung out with me today and commented. It was really fun to have you guys on here, and I'm glad I was able to teach you guys a couple tricks. And again, thank you, Tammy and Aaron, for sharing me your logos, because I'm going to send you guys what I worked on. And yeah, this was really fun, guys. Thanks for being on my group, and thanks for watching. And I will see you next week. Talk to you soon. Bye.